Tigers, they're all in. How many major college football teams do you know that come out of the locker room fully dressed for battle, go through a full warm-up, full stretch, and then get back on the bus? It's just one of the many great traditions. Here at Clemson, we are ready to rock and roll. You're watching college football on ESPN. And Auburn's Tigers are in the house for this SEC ACC showdown. Number 13 Auburn, number 3 Clemson. We've got the potential for something special to happen here tonight. And the man in the middle of it all is our Todd McShay.
Usually this is the time, Steve, where we're going to do a player breakdown or look at the matchup to preview this game. But this scene is too special. I'm here on the top of the hill right now, touching Howard's Rock. You see right now the entire team is coming in. This is the tradition. It's a wild moment. Enjoy. The Tigers are in the house.
Saturday night, 75 degrees, still sunny, Death Valley, South Carolina, as we anticipate something special happening here tonight. Speaking of sunny, with our sunny disposition, we welcome you into the broadcast booth. Say hi once again to Brian Greasy. I'm Steve Levy. No place else we would rather be. We're going to get a chance to see the defending national champions.
You can't say defending. Dabo would not be happy.
Dabo hates that. Defending is passive. They're the attacking national champions. And there's no Deshaun Watson to lead on anymore. He was on the sideline last week. He's got other things to worry about tonight.
It's going to be Kelly Bryant's game. And certainly last week, an outstanding performance. But it was a preseason game, let's be honest. They played Kent State. He's going to go against an outstanding front for Auburn tonight. He's going to need to play his best game for Clemson to win.
Clemson has won the toss and deferred. Auburn will receive. Devin Barrett and Javarius Davis are back to receive. Auburn in the white off a shellacking 41-7 win over Georgia Southern. Ball is on a tee at the 35. Let's get crazy here tonight in Clemson. Matchup that had a whole lot of people buzzing all week long, and then some. Davis will take a knee in the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25-yard line, and we're going to find something tonight about Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, you know, Steve, you think about Jarrett Stidham, it's been a long 2-year road almost for him coming from Baylor. Well documented his transfer. The thing that jumps out to me, 12 months ago, Steve, he was a volunteer quarterback at a local high school in Waco on the scout team because he went to the community college and just wanted to get some reps. And now one year later, he's in Death Valley going against one of the best defenses in college football.
And the running backs have been a story all week long. Cameron Petway is in the lineup tonight for Auburn. And he starts to the left of Stidham, who comes out firing on first down. Well, that was the idea, and now he'll be crushed down for a loss of 2. Kendall Joseph making the first stop of the night for Clemson along with Austin Bryant.
This is something to watch all night. The pass rush of the Clemson Tigers going up against Stidham, who's an excellent passer. Outstanding arm talent, can make all the throws, and really impressive when he has time to throw. But we've got to watch him under pressure. He has struggled to trust his protection.
This is not a late arriving crowd. They came early. Ryan Davis on the receiving end, and Mark Fields, he came early as well, third down.
The biggest difference in this Clemson football team this year is it's the first time in a long time that they are completely aware of how good they are on the defensive side, and the questions are on the offensive side, not defensively. They're going to be attacking all night, especially in third down situations.
Here's the exact spot Stidham did not want to be in on the first series, 3rd and 14. Clemson doesn't have to bring pressure to get pressure. They're rushing just 3. Here's Stidham, good pocket for him, across the middle, and a big catch by Craig Myers, and he took a lick. Took a big hit from behind, able to hang on for the first down.
To Todd's point, this is exactly what Jarrett Stidham didn't do last week. Trust his protection and pull the trigger down the middle of the field to Craig Myers. Excellent start.
Gain of 23. We expect tempo from Auburn, and here we go. Handoff to Petway. And that ball might have come out. Let's see. Dexter Lawrence made the tackle.
You know, Steve, I was down on the field before the game checking out Cameron Petway. There's some question as to whether he would play in this game. I talked to Coach Gus Malzahn. He said he was nicked up, re-injured, an injury this week in practice, but he looks ready to roll, and he needs him.
2nd and 7 now. Just shy of midfield. Fake it to Petway. Stidham the throw. Feels the pressure from behind, and just too high for Kyle Davis. And it was good coverage on the play as well. Bring up another 3rd down.
Gus does not want to be in these 3rd and long situations. His offense is not built from a protection standpoint up front to weather the storm of Clemson's defensive line. Both tackles for Auburn are new. Darius James, the right tackle, and Prince Tega Winogo on the left side.
So they had a 3rd and 14, and here's a 3rd and 7. Able to pick it up the first time. Here comes the pressure up the middle. Picked up nicely. Blitz is picked up, and back shoulder throw. Nearly a miracle catch by Kyle Davis, but a flag comes. Marcus Edmond had the coverage.
Kyle Davis is coming off of a suspension last week's game. He did not play. Such a big factor for this offense, a downfield threat.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty.
Think about the confidence this drive. A couple of penalties, but now you're in the red zone area. Think of the confidence this gives Jarrett Stidham, his first drive in Death Valley.
Stidham will hand it off to Petway. And he'll squeeze through for a couple. Impact players really everywhere you look on the field, up and down the roster.
Yeah, these Chick-fil-A impact players. Get ready for Cameron Petway. He's been an absolute wrecking ball through the SEC a year ago. 122 yards a game, but they've got some pretty SEC-style defensive tackles here tonight. Dexter Lawrence and Christian Williams, simply the best duo in all of college football.
Petway, the top returning rusher in the country. Handed off to Petway. He's been the only ball carrier on this drive. He's got the first down easily, and they're inside the 15 now.
I really like what Gus Malzahn and Chip Lindsey, the new offensive coordinator, are doing on this drive. They're throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down, Steve, and then they're giving the ball to Cameron Petway. It's opposite of what they traditionally have done. Throw and then take running shots off the play action.
Fake to Petway and throw. Ball batted up in the air and nearly intercepted. Kevon Wallace nearly picked it off from his nickelback spot off the hands of Kyle Davis.
This is a hot ball coming from Jarrett Stidham that's thrown a little bit behind Kyle Davis. That would have been a very difficult catch. In that situation, you want your wide receiver to save you some space on the outside. Kyle Davis didn't take his time, got in there so fast that the ball was incomplete.
2nd down and 10. 9th play of this drive. Hand off to Petway. Nothing doing there. Ran right into the teeth of that Clemson defense we just showed you.
Yeah, and those big guys up front that we showed, the beneficiary of that is number 34, Kendall Joseph. He is a tackling machine. 124 of them a year ago. That was 2nd on the team, only to Ben Boulware. But he's going to run free in a lot of cases because they demand double teams up front. It's going to be a battle between he and Petway in the hole. Third down situations, the edge pass rushers for Clemson. Farrell and Bryant on the outside.
Clemson bringing some people here. They get through. Stidham in trouble, running for his life. Turns the corner. He'll get yardage and very close to the first down. I think he's going to go up just short. Looks like he's a yard shy there. Bring up a 4th down and 1.
That's great athletic ability by Jarrett Stidham. That's the most underrated part of his game. Everybody talks about him throwing the football, but he's got enough speed to make plays with his feet. And now an interesting decision for Gus Malzahn. I think you go for it here, Steve. Points are going to be at a premium in this game. You get down this close with a hammer like Petway, might give him an opportunity on 4th and 1. In this situation, they like to follow the fullback, Chandler Cox. Watch where he goes. That's normally where the ball goes.
Just inside the 5. There's the sledgehammer. Petway you talked about. And he has just enough for the first down. And I mean just.
Boy, he is such a load. I mean, he's 235 pounds. I went to practice on Wednesday, okay, and he didn't practice. He's been nicked up. He's been hurt in camp, all camp. He didn't scrimmage. Gus kept him out of all the scrimmages, waiting for this opportunity, and he's going to gut it out tonight. You see he's got that leg taped up. That was an excellent drive right there to get a first down.
Suspended for the first game, and they didn't need him against Kent State. They need him here. I mean, against Georgia Southern, I beg your pardon. 1st and goal from the 4. It's Petway again. Tries to lower the shoulder. Didn't get low enough. Kendall Joseph had the lower pad level, along with Trey Lamar.
On the stop.
We talked about it. It's going to be all night. 225 goes to Kendall Joseph and 235 on Petway. This is going to be fun to watch. Here he is right here. Unblocked. And that's just big boy football.
Little shift, and it still goes to Petway. And he's going to push back. See where they spot his forward progress. Cleveland Farrell made the stop. Todd.
A great job there by Christian Wilkins. Right before the snap, he stemmed, which means he moved over the nose, did a good job of penetrating, taking on 2 blocks, and that opened up the hole for the linebacker to come in and make the play. These defensive tackles have done their job so far.
You know, 2 times they've tried to slam it in between the tackles with Cameron Petway to no avail. We got a little sugar huddle here. Got to be alert for a quick snap. Maybe get the ball to the outside in the perimeter.
Chandler Cox, the fullback, trying to slam it up in there. And he won't get there. J.D. Davis came up to make the tackle. 4th and goal.
3 consecutive plays with 3 unblocked linebackers in the hole. This time it's Davis. That's 3 plays. You got to block the linebacker. That's what we're talking about. This defensive line is so good, it's hard to get up to the 2nd level. There's nowhere for the back to go. Now this call down here, going for it again, you know, 2 times in a row. I think it's the right decision, because if you don't make it, you're putting a young quarterback in Kelly Bryant, his first snap inside the 1.
They only have 2 to snap it here. And they don't get it off. Delay a game.
Delay a game. On the offense. Now they're penalty. First down.
And that's on the coach, right? That's on the coach, making the decision quick enough, getting the personnel in, and now you got to kick the field goal.
What a letdown. You get the 3 big conversions on 3rd down. You get the 4th down conversion the first time.
Give some credit to this Clemson defense, right? They had the 2 penalties early in the drive, and they've stiffened inside this 10-yard line.
How about a tip of the hat to the crowd, too?
Absolutely.
Helping the defense out there. 24-yard field goal attempt for Daniel Carlson. On the way And it squeezes through. Didn't need to be Legatron there. From 24. 15 plays down the field. 69 yards, sending him a field goal. Clemson values wins on an opponent's home field as an extraordinary accomplishment. They have this graveyard set up outside the facility. The win over Miami in 2009 was Dabo's first graveyard win. You were there for that one, right, Reese?
I was actually in the studio doing the coaches film room. Loved it. I was there for the, that was the national championship, and then in 09, the Miami game. It was his first win over a top 25 team. So he said, he came up to us and he said, I'm 2-1 calling his games. He said, you're still 500, only 1-1 doing his games.
Yeah, I was surprised they invited us back after last year. We were here for the Pittsburgh game and the NC State game they probably should have lost. Cornell Powell takes a knee to bring it out to the 25-yard line. And again, Deshaun Watson, he was on the sideline last week. He was cheering on Kelly Bryant. There's no security blanket. There's a huge shadow now cast over the quarterback position.
Yeah, Steve, how would you like to take over for the best player in Clemson history? That's all you got to do.
No, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, Kelly Bryant might be up to the task. Last week was outstanding. Now, again, we talked about that was against Kent State. A completely different animal here against this Auburn front four. They're not as quite at the level of Clemson, but they run 8 to 10 deep, and Kelly Bryant will go up against them all night.
First down and 10. For Clemson, first drive didn't go so well. Quick screen out to McLeod. And that ball came out. Auburn says they have it, and they do! Jeremiah Dinson came up with the ball, stripped it and picked it up.
I'm standing probably 15 yards away from him. I saw him right at the end. He ripped it out. It looked like the knee was not down. And my guess is that this is going to stand, that this is a fumble in Auburn's ball.
Well, you're fighting for some extra yards. Ray McLeod. Boy,
pretty
that's close, yeah. It's close, and it's important to know the ruling on the field that was a fumble. And Rodgers, as you look at that, with the ruling on the field, how do you see that?
Looks like the knee is down. The ball might start coming out. It's hard to tell when you slow it down because in real time, it may look like it's coming out. Anything slowed down looks like possession.
Right. First down, Auburn.
Well, that makes Rodgers 2 for 2.
So Jeremiah Dinson causes the fumble and recovers it. Last week was his first game since November of 15. He's taking a devastating injury hit. Hurt his knee and shoulder. Up the middle, it's Petway. Who else? Dorian O'Daniel filled the hole.
Or the right side of this offensive line for Auburn. Braden Smith, the All-American right guard. Darius James, who's a transfer from Texas, now playing right tackle. They are getting movement up front on this defensive line for Clemson. When you get movement and then Petway behind it, that's tough to stop.
Second down and 5. They can still get a first down. You see it about the 6-inch mark. Here's Stidham to throw. Now flush from the pocket. He'll tuck it and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. O'Daniel tracked him down. Bring up a third down now.
Big third down here. Clemson was able defensively to get that stop inside the 5 after they got the 4th and 1 stop. Can they get another one here?
That'll be the last play of quarter number 1. A quarter dominated by Auburn. Yet they only lead 3-0. But they are knocking on the door. We'll have it for you when we come back. Look at your first quarter statistics. No typos on the Clemson side. How about that? Only run 6 offensive plays for the defending national champions. And they're up against it right now as we open quarter number 2. First down and goal from the Clemson 6. Jarrett Stidham. A lot of traffic in there, and he's brought down. Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins. Big-time play right there.
Yeah, when you need it the most, you go to the All-Americans, and Christian Wilkins, so difficult to block him on the inside. He goes right around the other All-American, Braden Smith. Talk about the leadership of this Clemson team. It's on defense, and 2 times in this first quarter, they have come up big to force field goal attempts.
The change of quarter may have helped there too. The big guys getting their legs fresh.
Daniel Carlson was good from 24. This from 28. It too is good. And Auburn opens up a 6-0 lead. Clemson will get the ball back. A couple of field goals on the board for Auburn, and that's where we stand here inside the first minute.
And Dabo on that sidelines telling Jeff Scott, offensive coordinator, and Tony Elliott, we just need to get some first downs. Get some first downs, get some tempo, establish some rhythm, and take back control here before halftime.
Could be any nerves on Clemson. Yes, they're the defending champs, but Dabo made the point. Guys who were special teams players a year ago are now playing significant roles this year. So maybe the experience of the national championship maybe doesn't help them here tonight. Some of those players anyway. Here's Powell. He'll take a knee. First down and 10. Here's Adam Choice.
And off to Adam Choice.
And once again, down the top.
The Chick-fil-A impact players. Let's start on the offensive side, Greasy. I think the wide receivers are the story. Really impressed with how deep this group is. 9 receivers are going to rotate, but Hunter Renfrow, 15 of his 44 catches last year in the final 2 games. And then Deion Kane, a vertical threat who's refined his routes a little bit this year.
Yeah, those 2 guys up front, Derek Brown and Martavius Russell, excellent football players, and Carlton Davis at corner.
Ground game, run game, any game. Got to get something going here. And that's not going to do it. Short pickup to McLeod. And I'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Some momentum, some kind of big spark, big play, get this crowd back in the game.
Typically where that has come from last week was from the feet of Kelly Bryant. And so far he's been bottled up. Hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities.
Watch for Renfrow here, number 13, the slot receiver. He's big on 3rd down.
3rd opportunity to convert. They are 0 for 2 on this night. Rolling to the right and complete. Todd on the money. It's Renfrow, and he just got there.
They put him in motion to try to help him get a clean release off the line of scrimmage. He's not the biggest receiver, so sometimes you can press him and affect his route. You see there, he does such a great job of gaining separation out of his break, and he's a really sure-handed receiver.
Todd, that's the ball he caught in the national championship game for the win. Sure, he likes running that one.
That one from Deshaun. This one from Kelly. Here's Bryant to throw again under pressure. He is hit as he releases. Jeff Holland applying the wood.
Oh, Jeff Holland doesn't get there. This is a touchdown. Here comes Holland right here. He's going to come up the field. Watch when he gets to the quarterback. They're trying to run a double move with Hunter Renfrow. The ball's coming out. Look how wide open the middle of the field. That's right where Renfrow was headed. That's what pressure does to offenses. Doesn't allow you to push the ball down the field.
2nd down and 10. Bryant trying to set up the screen to Renfrow. Running through people and spinning. And close to another 1st down.
Kelly Bryant took a shot. He's still down on the field. Everybody's holding their breath here.
Yeah, silence, Death Valley.
He was dropping back, trying to throw a little slip screen. Normally a quarterback will not get hit on that kind of a drop because he's just given ground.
Jarrett Cooper, left side of your screen warming up. The redshirt freshman. Taking a look, see what happened.
Throwing the slip screen to the left. That's Dontavius Russell that comes in. And just lands on top of him. Oh, goodness. Hopefully he'll be back in this football game, but we'll see at least 1 snap of young Jarrett Cooper, redshirt freshman.
In the quarterback, number 6, Jarrett Cooper.
Cooper did get in the last week's game. Was 4 for 6. 37 yards passing a week ago. And their win over Kent State 56-3. Did not think he would be pressed into service here, especially on a 3rd and 1. Good idea to hand it off to Adam Choice, and it's really close. You see the official straddling the imaginary yellow line.
Adam Choice.
They gave him the first down.
Yeah, they did. Pretty quickly.
He went right behind Tyrone Crowder, all 340 pounds of him. It's not a bad idea, but Jarrett Cooper can throw the ball. I was watching him in practice yesterday. He's, in a lot of ways, more fluid throwing the football than Kelly Bryant. Doesn't have the explosive running ability, but run this offense efficiently.
On the ground, Jeff Holland brings Cooper down.
On the quarterback keeper, brought down by number 4, Jeff Holland.
Kelly Bryant went inside the injury tent.
No gain, and we set it.
So it's, at least for this drive, it's going to be Jarrett Cooper.
Well, you're right. He's got the arm talent. There's no. Coach has said he can spin it. That's quite a compliment. Here he is trying to spin it down the sideline, and it's batted away. Deion Kane was the intended target. Jamel Dean on the coverage.
Well, there's been 2 pass interference calls that gone against Clemson defensively, and I don't know how this one doesn't go against Auburn the way that they've been calling it. Jamel Dean had his hands all over the receiver. Jersey.
Little tug with the left hand. Little tug. 3rd and 10 now.
Call both ways, though.
Yep.
Right? Be smart here in 3rd and 10.
Pressure coming up the middle. Able to get it away with a short gain and push back to the line of scrimmage. Choice, the receiver out of the backfield. Jeremiah Dinson made the stop.
That's a smart play there. It's a smart call, smart play by Jarrett Cooper. Don't take a sack, get 5-6 yards, and allow Greg Hugel the opportunity to come in and attempt a 47-yard field goal.
Don't lose the game right here. Looks like it will be from 47. That's his career long is 47. We'll call it 46. And they've got 3 to snap it. And no. Nothing doing, not even close. Maybe blocked at the line of scrimmage. So the news, and as you know, bad news travels fast. And all over the country, people are talking about what's going on with Kelly Bryant. We'll be right back. Off the play fake. Quick throw to Ryan Davis, and he is immediately tackled for a loss. Chad Smith made the stop.
And as you guys said, Brian has been throwing down on the sideline. He looks fine throwing the ball. They continue to do tests to see his coordination. He was running backwards, going through a bunch of different tests. He looks good. The trainer just asked him, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm fine." So expect to see him again.
Yeah, Todd, he's looking for his helmet now, so he'll be coming back in this game. You know, you talked about the adversity he was going to face. He's got it now.
2nd and 11. Stidham completes to Will Hastings. His first grab. Another stop for O'Daniel. Grease, you wondered maybe he hit his head on the turf.
Yeah, it didn't look like it. Didn't look like it.
When you're running those drills, though, and trying to get loose, running backwards. I thought it was a shoulder, maybe a collar.
That's what it looks like when Dorian O'Daniel at 225 pounds tackles Will Hastings at 165.
Here on 3rd down and 10. Trying to set it up for Cam Martin, his first touch of the night. Slips by one tackler, but can't get by another. Out to the 45, it'll bring up a 4th down.
Great pursuit there from front 7, Clemson, Tanner Muse, Austin Bryant. The hustle there, because that play was open and had potential to get a first down, but the hustle and effort kept him from getting the sticks.
Martin was very effective a week ago when Kerryon Johnson first was injured with the leg injury that's keeping Johnson out of tonight's game. Ray McLeod back at his own 15. Shannon to punt from his 31. He'll let it fly into the Clemson night. And Clemson will take over at the 12-yard line when we come back. And we expect to see Kelly Bryant at quarterback. Lights are on, and everybody's home here in Death Valley on a Saturday night. Kelly Bryant is back at quarterback for Clemson. A sigh of relief for the time being. Milan Richard on the receiving end. The tight end gets into the act tonight for his first catch.
Kelly Bryant's back in the game, but Clemson's hoping to get their offense back. They ran through Kent State last week, and they were humming. And there's been nothing going for Clemson offensively in this game. Give credit to Auburn's defense, but an opportunity here with a little under 4 minutes before halftime to get something on the board.
This crowd has had very little to cheer about tonight. Bryant, quick throw, able to complete to McLeod, and he is rocketed back by Jarrett Stidham.
Revved McLeod's been hit hard a couple of times, fumbled once inside their own red zone. Ultimately, you're going to have to push the ball down the field at some point. You got to take pressure off of your offense, and Kelly Bryant's one of his strengths is throwing the deep ball. Maybe you get a pass interference if nothing else.
3rd and 2. Bryant to loft one down the sideline, and it is a jump ball, and Deion Kane's got it. Don't worry about the flag. Carlton Davis on the coverage.
There's no foul for pass interference. First down. Check.
At 6'1", 190 pounds, going up against Carlton Davis. We knew that Carlton Davis was going to match up on Kane most of the night. You just got to make a play for your team. Get some momentum for your offense and your young quarterback.
20 yards on Kane's first reception of the night. So they pick up the flag, and Bryant's going to get out of there. Trying to direct traffic. He'll make somebody miss, and then get out to midfield. Little spark, 20-yard completion, and a quarterback run. And here comes Clemson.
We talked about the double move on the outside. Revved McLeod got hit early, and you just got to stay with it. Kelly Bryant comes off of it. He had an opportunity for a touchdown there to Revved McLeod. Just got to have some patience and let it rip.
2nd down and 1. Tavian Feaster is in the backfield for the first time. But Bryant will keep it himself and take another hit. He's pushed back to the 45. Stephen Roberts made the tackle.
And you wonder why those missed opportunities are so big. It's because with a defense as good as Auburn, you're not going to go 10, 12, 15 play drives. You got to get big chunks. And when you miss an opportunity, they make a mistake, you have to capitalize.
So that's patience, you said, for the young quarterback?
Stick with it. It's experience. And
vision, field vision?
Certainly.
3rd and 4. Bryant, quick throw. It's his 3rd down man, Hunter Renfro. And that'll move the sticks across midfield.
Can't say enough about Hunter Renfro, one of my favorite players in college football. Any quarterback would want to have that kind of a player. This is a big-time player in big moments.
On 1st down, see if they go for a chunk play. Another completion. It's to Renfro. We'll see where they mark the forward progress. It's like 11. Trey Matthews put a big stick on him.
He's tough. He's consistent. Catches the football reliably. Thinks like a quarterback at the wide receiver position. He's irreplaceable, really.
5 catches now for Renfro. Here's Bryant. Gets away. And he will throw that one away. With 91 seconds left in the first half.
It's great contained. You know, Auburn coming into this game, one of their coaching points up front was to contain Kelly Bryant. Don't let him out of the pocket, scramble, and make big plays. And so far, so good in that respect for Auburn's defensive line.
2nd and 10. That's C.J. Fuller to the right of Bryant. 2 receivers top of your screen. Pressure coming up the middle. Bryant got rid of it. tried to go to Fuller out of the, rather, DJ Greenlee out of the backfield, and it skipped off the turf. Bring up a 3rd down and 10. In case you're wondering, the last time Clemson was shut out in the first half, you have to go back to 2010 against NC State. Clemson came back to win that game 14-13.
I think about going back up top to Deion Kane once again. Looks like you're going to get man-to-man coverage.
Here's Bryant over the shoulder. Beautiful throw and catch. Ray McCloud. Concentration. Best ball Bryant's thrown all night.
Oh, this is as good as it gets. What a great angle this will be, coming right into your living room. You want to put in the breadbasket over the outside shoulder, and you can't walk it out there any better to him. Ray McCloud had no choice but to catch that ball.
There's the chunk you're talking about, a chunk of 29. 1st and goal. It's Renfro. He couldn't stay on his feet, and he's down to the 3. Clemson has all 3 timeouts remaining, and it looks like Dabo wants to spend one here. A drive that started on their own 12 has Clemson knocking at the door. Here's Clemson, 2nd and goal from the Auburn 3. 52 seconds left in the half. Fake the pitch. Bryant will keep it and crossover for the touchdown. Kelly Bryant appears to be just fine.
Two great blocks. Watch Millen Richard, number 80, come around, gets the block, and then there's nothing but toughness and want to at the goal line. Remember the last drive. He came out of the game hurt underneath Dontavius Russell, and the courage to stick his nose in there at the goal line.
Here's Greg Hugel. So all of that, the entire first half, and with a blink of an eye, Clemson has the lead.
Great defensive first half.
Has to be disheartening, I would think, for Auburn, who dominated. They still trail by 1. Get ready for the halftime report. And a first half that featured a whole lot of defense. 7-6 Clemson. After a first half really dominated this time possession by Auburn.
Yep, and it didn't look good for Clemson in the end of that first quarter. Their quarterback is on the ground, tried to get up, fell back to the turf, but came back in that next series with a beautifully thrown ball to Ray McCloud, and finished it off with that pitch power and a physical run to the end zone to put his team up by 1. We're going to get ready for some defense in the second half, Levy. It's not all about touchdowns and big passes, right?
I know. Throw it down the field, take a shot. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy. You'll hear from Todd McShay shortly. Would you expect more of the same here in the second half?
These two defenses are too good. That Clemson defense kept them in the game in the first quarter. Auburn had 2 chances to score touchdowns in the red zone. They kept them out and forced field goals. I don't see any difference in the second half.
How about Auburn? Are they disheartened? I mean, they dominated up and down the field. We said the time possession, the plays, and they find themselves losing at the very end of the half.
I don't know. You come on the road defending national champs, right? You got a new quarterback and you're down 1. I don't think they're disheartened. I think they realize they got an opportunity to come in here and steal a win.
And maybe go back-to-back in terms of getting that touchdown late in the first half. They'll get the football to open up the third quarter. Cornell Powell from the goal line will bring it out. Powell takes a big hit up high, and he's dropped at the 22-yard line.
And these first half stats are not going to look pretty for the offense. It's just both teams a little over 100 yards. I mean, that's not what you expect from these two high-powered offenses, but no surprise. The defenses have ruled the roost. Now, the question is, you go in at half, if you're one of these offensive coordinators, if you're Tony Elliott, Jeff Scott, if you're Gus Malzahn, Chip Lindsey, what are the adjustments that you're going to make? I expect to see more balls thrown down the field to try to get big chunk plays in the second half.
Kelly Bryant opens up 1st down and 10. He'll pitch it out to the right to C.J. Fuller, and he'll find a bit of a crease and pick up 6 on that first play. Jeff Holland had a strong first half, just like everybody else in that Auburn defense.
mean, it's just tough. It's tough sledding to run the ball against this front four.
On 2nd down and 4. Here's Bryant, a quick throw to Ray McLeod, and he's got first down yardage and a few more.
That's almost like a run play there. Just a little quick slant, quick in to Ray McLeod. We've seen him catch that ball 3 or 4 times.
Gain of 6 on the play. Clemson is known for their great receiving core, and they don't have a senior wide receiver on the roster. How about that?
Because they're so good, they leave early.
Yeah. First down and 10. There's Fuller. Back to the line of scrimmage. Derek Brown made the tackle. You mentioned Todd McShay. Here he is, Todd.
Well, these wide receivers, it's the first thing that jumped out on tape just watching them a week ago. Now, we haven't seen as much of the youngsters, guys like T. Higgins, a freshman from Tennessee, DeAndre Overton, another youngster, Amari Rogers, a freshman as well. But the upperclassmen, Renfro, McLeod, Kane, they're the ones who have stepped up and have just had more opportunities tonight.
4 different receivers have made catches tonight, courtesy of Bryant. Oh, he's going to loft one down the sideline. It's McLeod, and he's pushed out of bounds. Carlton Davis forced him out. Little rhythm here for Clemson to open up the 3rd.
Yeah, we talked about it. Just throw the ball around the field, and against man-to-man coverage, Carlton Davis, one of the better corners in the SEC, just late getting his eyes around. And Ray McLeod, that's the 2nd time in subsequent drives that Kelly Bryant gives him an opportunity to make some pay.
Good for 33. And battle for the football, Deion Kane trying to come up with it. Good physical battle between him and Trey Matthews.
I got a question for Rodgers. Rodgers, now, these quarterbacks just throwing the ball up. Clearly, these are 50-50 balls, right? There's not a lot of pinpoint accuracy there. Do you, as an official, call that different if you know that it's kind of either guy's chance at the ball?
Well, if you know, both have equal rights to the ball,
yeah.
And so if they're just a little hand checking and stuff like that, I mean, you're not going to call that because it's the rule is there's got to be an obvious intent to impede to get to the ball.
Right.
And when you've got them both going like that, there's just not an obvious attempt to try to stop them from getting to the ball.
Yeah. I always wondered that, you know, because if the ball's thrown perfectly and a receiver's running and a DB get a hand on a polo jersey or something like that, as opposed to 2 guys in the same spot going up for the ball, they shouldn't call those.
No, you want to let them fight it out.
Yeah.
Right.
And they did. Here's Bryant throwing on 3rd and 5. It's who else but Hunter Renfro. First down.
It's a great, accurate throw on the run from Kelly Bryant. See, just rolling out. Great block by C.J. Fuller. That ball has to be on the money. Give credit to Fuller and Kelly Bryant for an accurate throw.
And Bryant's going to keep it himself. Spins off the tackle, stays on his feet, and hits the end zone. Touchdown, Kelly Bryant, 2nd of the night.
Take you inside the helmet. Look at his eyes, look at the vision, the cut right there, the patience, and then just like we saw in that touchdown run to end the first half, the power and the speed and the courage to break tackles, get to the end zone. Pretty impressive from number 2.
Here's Hugo on for the extra point and puts it through. 79 yards, 8 plays. Take 3 change off the clock. And this drive ends in a Kelly Bryant 27-yard touchdown run. Right, a little different atmosphere here.
Yeah, Dex is dancing. You know, he's happy because he's been on the sideline for quite some time. 2 long scoring drives for their offense.
And Auburn will look to run it out. Out to the 20-yard line. What say you, Jarrett Stidham? First down and 10. Auburn, they need some offense now. They'll start at their own 20. Stidham rolling to his left, throwing across his body. able to connect with Ryan Davis, and they'll mark them just shy of the first down by a couple inches.
So if I'm Gus Malzahn at halftime, I bring Jarrett Stidham over, go to his locker, say, listen, kid, you got nothing to lose. We're in this game. I brought you in here to throw the football and to bring us back and compete in games like this. Let it all hang out, let it rip.
Here's the tempo. They give it to Petway. He also gets just enough for the first down. Hey, speaking of 80s movies, by the way, Stidham has this habit of watching an 80s movie on the Friday night before a game. Last week it was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Who's your favorite Fast Times character? Yes?
Spicoli.
I like Mr. Hand myself. Last night it was Escape from New York. You remember Snake Plissken? So we'll see what Stidham has to offer here. This was what was so successful in the first half. Cameron Petway, but he's sent flying by Ryan Carter.
And it's successful in the first half because Petway would keep his shoulders down the field. But when he gets lateral, that's what defenses want. If you get him lateral, then he's not quite as athletic, and a great job by Ryan Carter from the corner spot.
Carter got his first career start against Auburn last year. Second down and 6. Maybe Petway will get a breather here. Stidham won't. He's sacked and he fumbles the football. I think they Auburn recovered Prince Tega Wanago, but the heavy pressure from Cleveland Farrell forced the fumble.
Tega Wanogo is a sophomore, and he's starting for the first time, going up against one of the best in the ACC, rushing the passer. You got to know, you got to have a clock in your head. The ball's got to come out after 2 hitches. And Cleveland Farrell not only gets to the quarterback well, but he finishes with the chop to get the football out.
4th Clemson sack of the night. Stidham had a sack, was sacked and fumbled last week in their blowout victory. Stidham's in all sorts of trouble. It's a Malachi crunch. Kendall Joseph and Austin Bryant. Stidham the meat in that sandwich.
One of the biggest issues I have with this offense of Gus Malzahn, when you bring in a quarterback like this to throw the ball, you got to give him options. You can't just run deep routes and then run the ball. You got to have intermediate throws, and that's been the bugaboo for Gus Malzahn's offense. There hasn't been a whole lot of concepts and intermediate passes for the quarterback to have options on 3rd down.
So off back-to-back sacks, Clemson's going to get the football with great field position. It's McLeod who's doing everything for those Tigers. And Clemson will start just about at midfield. Here's Bryant trying to stay in that rhythm. That's just too hot for T. Higgins to handle that time.
That's a great point, Todd. I mean, but when you're running the ball down, you're throwing the ball down the field. You got receivers running down the field. It takes a while, right, to throw that ball. Don't you think they need some underneath crossing routes?
I completely agree, but I just know that with 2 injuries tonight in the secondary and then 3 starters from a year ago, this is the area that Brent Venables, the coordinator, was most concerned about. So far, they're hanging on.
2nd and 10 off the incompletion. Bryant is throwing again. It's Powell. Makes the catch for a gain of 5 on the play. Gonna bring up a 3rd down and 5.
Now you put some pressure squarely on the shoulders of this Auburn defense, because they've given up 2 long touchdown drives back-to-back to end the first half and to start the second half. And now they're in plus territory because your offense hasn't been able to get a first down, and they've been on the field quite some time.
See the numbers of Bryant on 3rd down. Tough to beat it better than that. Bryant will step and throw. Good battle, and there's the flag. 2 flags, make them 2. Deion Kane, the intended target. And Carlton Davis had the coverage.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 6, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
Both guys are pushing there. And it looked like Carlton Davis went for the ball. I didn't see a flag there. It's kind of hand fighting. This is what we were talking about, Rogers. We were talking about that 50-50 ball. Both guys have an opportunity to get it, but he gets his arm around him.
But the defender wrapping him around like that is where the flag came from. So that's the obvious intent kind of thing.
So when you say you didn't see a flag, you didn't think a flag should be thrown. You saw the flag. You saw both. Two flags were thrown.
Yes.
So a check on the vision on 1st down and 10. Here's Fuller. Loose football. It's out. Let's see. Auburn says they have it. Back at the 45. Trey Matthews on the recovery.
Yeah, it was C.J. Fuller who had the football, and
Marlon Davidson got him.
Marlon Davidson's unblocked here, and he comes in with that left hand and punches that football out. Well, the pressure was on Auburn defensively. Whether that was a mistake up front by Mitch Hyatt, I don't know, but somebody's got to block number 3. You can't let him free to a ball carrier. These kinds of things happen. On top of that, C.J. Fuller looks like he's hurt.
So Auburn's defense steps up. They force their 2nd turnover. And now it's up to Jarrett Stidham to see what he can do. Rolling to his right, throwing back the other way, trying to set up the screen. Looking for Jalen Harris, the tight end. Keep in mind, Stidham, for him, this is just his 5th start. We know about some of the starts at Baylor. Had 3 starts. Highly acclaimed quarterback. A lot of things going for him. Had to start last week, but again, a young quarterback, inexperienced, making just his 5th start here tonight. Second and 10. Stidham to throw. Ryan Davis. There's some of the underneath type stuff.
Yeah,
short completion.
I want to see that. I want to see the ball. The ball's got to come out fast. You don't have the offensive line to consistently block Clemson's defensive line. So I know you want to, come off play action, throw deep down the field, but you got to throw some intermediate throws and get it out of his hand.
3rd and 1. Stidham now under center. Still going to give it to Petway. And he has the 1st down yardage. We talked to Brett Venables about Petway. His quote was, Petway just wears people out. Now, certainly did in the 1st half. He's trying to do some of that here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, we got to give him credit, too. He's not playing at 100%. He's been nicked up all camp. Didn't practice much this week at all, and coming out and gutting it out.
He's converted 8 first downs when Auburn needed him the most. That's incomplete. Over the head of Hastings. He's threw a ball in his direction. Bring up a 2nd down.
They tried to run a double move. We mentioned Will Hastings. He run an out and up, and he just gets tackled by Tanner Muse. That's a perfect play call right there. It could have been a touchdown, and Tanner Muse was out of position, and you tell him in that situation, just tackle him.
Stidham to his right. And he's just throwing that one away. Bring up a 3rd and 10. Nate Craig Myers was in the neighborhood.
Well, and these are the situations. It's hard. Gus Malzahn's got that play sheet over there. There's not a whole lot of 3rd and 10 play calls on that sheet.
But one thing they're trying to do is roll the pocket, get him outside the pocket in order to get away from some of that pressure. But when you do that, you restrict him to half the field. They just haven't had many options when they've done it.
Stidham in some traffic, dumps it underneath to Ryan Davis. He's going to come up short of the 1st down. Any decision here?
I don't think there's any question Gus is going to go for it. We talked about who's calling the plays here. Chip Lindsey on the left. That's Chip Lindsey. He's got the play sheet, but Gus, as you know full well, very involved in the offensive game planning, and certainly on 3rd, 4th down situations like this, it's his call. And they get this sugar huddle. They come out quick, and normally they have an unbalanced line, and they give it to Petway. And they like to run behind Braden Smith on the right tackle.
Fake it to Petway. Stidham was going to throw, and now he's going to be sacked instead. Dropped back at the 50 by Trey Lamar. And they'll turn it over on downs.
Huge 4th down. You get Trey Lamar coming on a blitz right here, trying to fake him. get the ball down the field on a swing route to Chandler Cox. Coming down here, that's where he wants to go with the ball. Just doesn't have the time. The pressure from Brent Venables and this Clemson defense consistently throughout the night has not allowed Stidham the time to throw the ball down the field.
7th sack of the night on 1st down and 10. Short game there.
You see a couple of those receivers in the game now. We've got true freshman Amari Rogers, number 3. DeAndre Overton, he's a sophomore. Travion Thompson, number 1.
I'd put 16 in if I was the co-offensive coordinator. Maybe 10 receivers that play in the NFL. That's Will Sweeney. That's Dabo's kid, 16 in the arm. 2nd down and 8. And there is Amari Rogers. He's stopped by Javaris Davis. Let's do the Amari Rogers story. Get that out of the way, just so there's no confusion, because we'll be the first to confuse it. So you see Amari Rogers there. That is T. Martin's son.
Okay.
Obviously well known in football circles. Number 5 is a wide receiver and also a 5-star recruit. That's T. Higgins.
Okay.
No relation. He's just named after T. Martin. Oh. His mom was a huge T. Martin fan. You get that?
I got that. They did a good job getting that straight.
People doubted me on that. How dare they? 30 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Clemson up 8. And some confusion on that play. Rogers was sort of there. Carlton Davis had the cover.
It's interesting because, you know, Amari Rogers, he had a slant route. He had one-on-one on Carlton Davis, and he showed his freshman inexperience. Didn't take enough time, didn't leave enough space. And it's a big difference when you put a freshman out there on Carlton Davis than you put Deion Kane out there. And I know that Dabo Swinney wants to play a lot of guys, but you do sacrifice the experience, and that big 3rd down there cost him.
They expect big things out of Rogers and Higgins, and some of the inexperience on display. Stephen Roberts, the fair catch at the 12. 15 ticks left here in the quarter. See if Auburn can do something with the football. A little momentum back to start the 4th. Not much there. Farrell and Huggins come up to stop Betway. That's going to do it for quarter number 3. This whole game changed in that 2nd quarter when Kelly Bryant went out with an apparent injury. He came back, roaring back. Pretty much been all Clemson since then. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Nobody's lighting up the scoreboard tonight, not yet anyway, but they are lighting up Death Valley, and you're watching the ACC right here on ESPN. Jarrett Stidham. Amazing. Seemingly nothing has gone right for them since the 1st quarter. And yet they're still in a 1-score game. 2nd and 9. Stidham to throw off the play fake. And it's Kyle Davis making the grab. His first catch of the night. You've been calling for that.
First catch for Kyle Davis. They have got to get him involved in this offense. Haven't been able to run it. Petway has gone quiet because it's tough running between the tackles. You got to get some playmakers on the outside. Kyle Davis, we haven't seen Darius Slayton. He's been injured from a week ago. Craig Myers needs to get involved.
3rd and 2. Stidham rolling to his right and throwing on the run for the 1st down. Stidham 13 of 22 for 79 yards. He's going to need some more. It's Petway on the ground, lowers the shoulder. Our excellent ESPN audio allows you to hear the crash from the field.
Yeah, see if you can hear that again. There's been a lot of big hits, physical, in this game. He just doesn't go down. He does not go down when you hit him high. Trainer Muse took a shot. He'll take an ice bath tomorrow.
2nd down and 7. Petway for 74 yards on the ground, 22 carries. Stidham has good protection this time. And now he'll just throw it away. Darius Slayton was sort of there.
At some point, Jarrett Stidham's going to have to sit in the pocket and take his shot down the field. This time, he had Sal Cannella right in the middle of the field. You got to step up and then let that thing fly. You got to give him a chance.
Is this the same hesitation you saw a week ago out of Stidham?
I mean, it's a much better defense. It's apples and oranges, you know, and he's in a bunker right now. Probably can't see the field real well, but to win this game, you're going to have to throw it down the field.
3rd and 7. In all sorts of trouble. And he'll sail that one into the Clemson bench. Bring up a 4th down.
Auburn has not been able to make the adjustment. They haven't been able to protect. You know, we knew coming into this game it was going to be a hard job trying to protect this defensive line. They try to move him. They try to keep him in the pocket. Try to throw quicker throws. None of it's worked.
Clemson has 8 sacks tonight. That's their most since 2004 against Utah State, and it kind of served as the same kind of thing. Ray McLeod is back deep. They'll call for the fair catch and let it bounce. 7.5 to play here in the 4th. Clemson will look to bleed some clock. Look at the rock.
See the QB comparison tonight. Jarrett Stidham had a lot of pressure on his shoulders coming in. Hasn't been a pretty night for him. Sacked 8 times, and for Kelly Bryant, he started slow, got knocked around a little bit, but he has responded in big fashion.
1st down and 10. It's Adam Choice, the first man through. He'll pick up 4. More great tennis for the U.S. Open Men's Championship. Rafael Nadal against Kevin Anderson. That's tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. I saw a picture of the two of them. They must have played a match against each other when they were 12 years old. Something like that. So it was kind of neat to see it. It'll be fun to watch tomorrow with Chris Fowler on the call.
You know, it's been dominated by Clemson in the second half. There's no question about it. This Auburn defense keeps responding, and they're keeping them in the game. Auburn, for all of the problems they've had on the offensive side of the ball, they're still 1 score away. Having lived through that Michigan State game, the last punt of the game where they botched it, there's so many different things that could happen. A pick 6, a turnover, that could give Auburn an opportunity to get right back in this game with 1 play.
That's a great point.
Especially against an inexperienced quarterback. A sack, fumble, return, anything.
The Auburn defense keeping them in the game. They have another stop in them here. They do.
Boy, that was close there. Jamel Dean had an opportunity to step in front of that intended pass. That's exactly what Todd was talking about. If he keeps his feet, gets in front of the tight end there, he can catch that ball and run for the end zone.
That's Mylon Richard, the intended target, the nephew of Herschel Walker. Couldn't come up with the grab. 4th consecutive punt upcoming now for this Clemson offense. So you want to give credit to Auburn. I don't know if Clemson's gotten conservative. Trying to run this out with the lead. Roberts is back. Will play it on a bounce at his own 20. Has some running room. And all the way up to the 44-yard line. That was nearly the play they needed. Ryan Carter got just enough to upend him. But still, Auburn will take over. Down a score. Excellent field position off the 24-yard return. On 1st down and 10, Eli Stove across midfield.
I think Auburn is going to start getting a little bit of tempo. You see their last 4 drives, absolutely nothing. And Gus Malzahn's changing tempo here, running the ball on the perimeter.
Stidham will step up, has some running room in front of him. He'll lower the shoulder and should have enough for the 1st down. And keep in mind that Clemson took less than 90 seconds off the clock on that last possession. Had a chance to milk some clock.
As bad as it's been for Auburn offensively, we keep saying this, it's a 1-score game. They got the ball at the 45-yard line, 1st down. You got everything you wanted right here in front of you.
And all 3 timeouts. Cam Martin to the left of Stidham now. Good protection. And he is dropped what will go as a sack for Christian Wilkins. That's the 9th sack of the night, adding to the recent record.
Yeah, people down think watching at home that that's, you know, throw the ball down the field. That was actually a screen, and it was covered up by Cleveland Farrell really well. Nowhere to go with that ball. You can't throw it downfield because you got linemen downfield.
2nd and 13.
Man-to-man.
It's Hastings in motion, top of your screen. Trying to stay in there. Oh, he stayed in there and he stayed down. Dorian O'Daniel comes up with a sack. Make it 10.
This is traditional Brent Venables. Just blitz the back. You're going to see two guys coming. They both come, one and then the other. Once Petway picks up the first, that allows Dorian O'Daniel to green dog right into the lap of the quarterback. That's vintage Brent Venables. Brings up the 9th sack of the night.
School record is 12 if you're scoring at home. There's 4 minutes left in the ball game. 3rd and 20. Stidham, he's patient anyway. Now he'll try to get out of there, and he is tripped up by Austin Bryant. Number 10 on the night. We're in double digits in sacks now, inching closer to that 12.
And at some point, if you're Gus Malzahn, you got to give him some options. These guys are just running down the field. They're 3 guys in the route, and they're double covered. And I don't care if you're Tom Brady, you can't throw the ball in that situation.
Yeah, shorted them one. It's 11 sacks, 3 successive sacks. Ray McLeod back of the 15, and he'll run out of bounds. 3:15 to go here in the 4th. Clemson will try to use some clock. They weren't very effective in it last time. A couple of first downs could be the difference. They're all over Jarrett Stidham tonight. Clemson up a score with the football. Auburn has all 3 timeouts remaining, and the clock down to 3:15. And as you would expect, on the ground to Adam Choice, who has become a featured runner here. And there is timeout number 1. One of your old coaches, John Gruden, always says when you have the lead, 4th quarter pass rush is so important to putting a game away. And we've seen it really in the 4th quarter, saw it in the 3rd quarter, some in the 2nd quarter for Clemson. They've got 11 sacks. I told you the record was 12. That was back in 1996 against Furman. Furman's 1AA. This will be, I would think, embarrassing to Auburn to allow 11 sacks tonight so far.
Well, you know, I think Auburn knew coming in that they were overmatched up front on the offensive line. I've been a little bit surprised, honestly, that Gus Malzahn and Chip Lindsey haven't made the kind of adjustments to get the ball out of Stidham's hands quicker. I think, you know, Auburn's finding out something about their team tonight. No matter what happens here in the last 3 minutes of this game, I think they've found out their defense is the strength of their team, and offensively they have a long way to go. They're trying to marry that Gus Malzahn power run game and up-tempo with Chip Lindsey, who wants to throw it a little bit more, and so far the results in this game have been terrible. So,
but old Chip and Gus, they're going to have another crack at this thing.
Yeah.
They come up with a defensive stop here. It's 3rd and 9. Auburn can still stop the clock one more time. Got the potential for getting the football back in good field position.
I honestly think Clemson could punt right now and still win the game. I mean, that's the way it's gone.
Well, we haven't seen any indication that Auburn's offense will be able to do something, but maybe it's a punt return. Let's see on 3rd and 9. Here's Bryant. He's going to throw the football on 3rd and 9. Incomplete for the first down. And that's a huge play, and Dabo knows it. And who else is on the receiving end of a huge play for Clemson? It's Hunter Renfrow.
Well, if it's a 4th quarter and it's 3rd down and it's a pressure situation, why would you throw to anybody else in number 13 in orange? That's all he does is make big plays. And once again, tippy-toe on the sideline. It's a great job extending the play by Kelly Bryant. I think you found out about him a little bit tonight, his toughness.
9 catches. 62 yards for Renfrow. And now it's a different story. 2.5 to play. There's 1 timeout for Auburn and a fresh set of downs for Clemson. It's Feaster, the ball carrier.
Yep, 1 more first down and this game's over. The game right here, next 2 plays, first down ices it.
Bryant will keep it on the ground. And turn the corner. Take a hit to the head. And he's dropped at the 40-yard line.
It's another learning experience for the young Kelly Bryant. How to manage this situation. Get down, stay in bounds, protect the football, take all the time off the clock, make sure everybody knows exactly what they're doing on the offensive side, and get out of here with a win. Dabo Swinney knows that it's been a hard-fought game. There's been a lot of hitting in this football game, but Kelly Bryant's grown tonight.
3rd down and 2. Clemson will try to seal the deal here. And as you would expect, it's Bryant on the ground. Has the first. Should have the game. Trey Matthews had him around the ankles, but by the time he got to him, it was already a 1st down for Clemson.
Well, maybe the thing I'm going to take away most from this performance from Kelly Bryant, we came into the game talking about how fast he was, 4.4 speed. But I have seen time and time again in a physical game against the top-flight SEC defense, he run with power. 6'4", 220 pounds of power. That has been impressive to me.
And he wants to show people he can do more than run the football. He wants to show people he can throw from the pocket. Auburn with 117 total yards. And they're not going to face this kind of defense, obviously, on a regular basis either.
Except for Alabama.
Yes.
LSU, baby.
Those couple of games, those few schools. It was a slugfest, a defensive battle. You might not see 2 finer fronts on the defensive side anywhere else in the country as the fans spill onto the field here at Memorial Stadium. Let's find Todd McShay. He's in their mix with Dabo Swinney.
Coach, you knew your defense is the veteran group coming back, but is this even surprising to you how dominant your defense was against this good Auburn offense?
Well, that's just how we practice every day, you know. Our coaches do a great job. Our guys take a lot of pride. We played a little conservative down the stretch because they were playing so well. And just hats off, you know, gritty win tonight for our team. It wasn't perfect, but we can build on it. You know, this is the type of game that you need early in the season to grow your team. And so we'll get better from it. Heck of a victory. Hey, give Auburn a lot of credit. They're going to be a heck of a team, too. But, hey, we're glad to be 2-0.
You told us that you were interested in seeing how your quarterback, Kelly Bryant, handled adversity. What'd you think?
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty darn good.
Pretty dang good.
Thanks, Coach.
Dabo returning fire at McShay. He answered the question with the question. Top 15 showdown tonight goes to Clemson. Their Tigers were better than Auburn's Tigers by a score of 14-6. In front of one of the great atmospheres in all of college football here in Death Valley, Clemson, South Carolina. For Todd McShay and Brian Greasy, I'm Steve Levy. College football scoreboard is next. Good night, everybody.